Pump it up.
Oh, jeez.
All right, guys, welcome to the Deep Threats Podcast. Today, it is Wednesday, January 17th, 2023. We had just came out of the wild card weekend. We're going to get into the breakdown of that in a minute. First off, we're going to introduce who we have on the show today. You have me, your lovely host, KJAM.
Lovely.
You always have the wonderful burly but not buff Steve.
Oh, man. Oh. Hi, I'm Steve.
I
am burly and somewhat not buff no more.
Ever.
That's not true.
We have the squeaky man behind the mic, JonnyG.
How's it going, everybody? Oh, where'd my mic go?
Haha.
Oh,
You're non-existent.
non-existent no more.
Bye, Mike. All right.
You suck.
That means he can't talk the rest of the show because he's not on cam. All right. And we also have a wonderful new guest today, Andrew Wheeler, a.k.a. Wheels.
Thanks, guys. Excited to be here.
That is
All right, there we go.
You know what? I think it's just that side of the bar. It's just every time someone intros themselves, like, hi.
Hi.
Hey,
Hello,
Hi.
guys.
I'll get
guys.
with your guys' level eventually.
Yeah, you'll be all right. You'll be all right.
We'll be at the same levels.
Hey, speaking of the mic, lift it up a little bit and speak into the mic.
That better?
Oh,
Yeah,
way better. Way
there it
better.
is.
All right.
My bad.
There it is.
So for those of you that couldn't hear him, he's here. Don't worry about it. Apparently he's going to have a lot to talk about today because we are going to test the waters of his man's knowledge. I should say kid because
buddy.
he's probably way younger than me.
Kid, he's not even.
I'm 28.
He's a
How old are you?
man.
I'm older
old.
than that.
He's old.
We don't like to chirp our ages on. Johnny's adding a mic.
He's adding.
He's
so
adding it to
offended.
my
He
team.
is so
he definitely is offended. All
my
right, so
triggered.
that being said, let me jump into the wild card weekend really quick and go over our breakdown this week.
Oh,
No, probably not. Don't worry, Deshaun Watson. This is a happy ending. The 49ers outscored them in the second half, 25-6, to give them 41-23 final victory, leading the offense. Big Cock Brock, a.k.a. Purdy Boy, a.k.a. Geodude, and Onyx Lover, Nick, not to be mistaken with vocal crybaby Joey Bosa, had a huge fumble recovery, leading things on the defensive side. Don't be too sad, Seattle. You will be on the clock shortly with the 5th pick in the draft. C.J. Stroud is waiting for you to write off Gina. Will Purdy be the starter next season? Not a discussion for today, but something to think about as Lance and Mr. Glass services may not be needed. Lastly, Mortimer in Miami says, just a friendly reminder that the 49ers still have not beaten the top tier team this season.
Oh.
In their only major test this season, they were blown out by KC, Kansas City. They will lose next week. Mark my words. Not mine, Bo's. FYI. Morty is salty because the Dolphins fought hard but pulled an Epstein. Brought a whole bunch of rich people to a tropical place, exposed them to lifestyles that include high flying, money, power, but in the end, they were cooked. This time by the refs and Tony Romo. Did I say Tony Romo? Yeah.
Yeah.
4 out of 15 on third downs and play calls, not getting man, I cannot speak anymore. 4 out of 13 on third downs and play calls not getting executed in wasted timeouts. Still pretty impressive. I thought the Dolphins would lose by 4 touchdowns and safety. Game ball went to the officiating crew in this one. 34-31, Bills escaped Dolphins with help. Speaking of game balls, Jacksonville gave theirs Joey Bosa after he was penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct. He was slamming his helmet to the turf while arguing for a penalty on Jaguars tackle Jawan Taylor. Dude needs to take a hit from whatever Justin Herbert's smoking because dude was too chill at halftime with a 27-point lead. At the end of the day, it all comes down to coaching. Staley got perfection for about 29 and a half minutes. Someone should have told him the game is 60 minutes, and you can't blow your load that early, or else all other girls will talk about you. Trust me. T-Law threw 4 interceptions and 4 touchdowns. Comeback win. Duval, yada, yada, yada.
There it is.
KC by 20.
Perfect.
There it is.
You guys killed me. 4th and 8 with the season on the line. Cousins drops back. Looking deep, and Cousins throws a 2-yard pass. Score!
I think it was a 3-yard pass. It was for DeMar Hamlin.
Oh,
Yes,
brutal.
I saw
The
that.
Vikings
Yes.
season ended in a 31-24 loss to the Giants. They were frauds, and everyone saw this coming a mile away. Nothing more to report here. Vikings are who we thought they were. Honestly, was anyone surprised the Vikings lost? Nice win, Giants. And the Jags lasted a week longer than the Chargers and Vikings. Eagles by 20. Ravens should have won. They dominated all game. plug your nose, and say wow like Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Wow.
He was telling me to do that. I probably should.
Wow.
Wow. That was his point. The other Wilson brother, not Owen or Luke, but Logan, knocked the ball loose from Huntley, Buttersfingers, McGillicuddy. Sam Hubbard was awarded the ball from the football gods into his playoff advancing hands.
Which went to a local Cincinnati.
It was a thriller where Huntley played inspired, but unfortunately couldn't reach the end zone. The game slipped through his hands. No one could chase Hubbard down. 24-17 Bengals. By the way, that dude runs like a 5-second 40, so that's ridiculous. Tampa Bay got their pants knocked off. That affected... Jesus. Tampa Bay got their pants knocked off. That effect lingered to Antonio Brown. Literally, check his Snapchat. Dak did his best Purdy impression, threw for 305 and 4 TDs against the Leaky D, 24-0, before Bucks scored. Game was over before it began. Cowboys-Niners game is going to be electric, and that's Bo's breakdown in a nutshell. Allen, Burrow, Trevor, Brady were not good for most part. Brady just didn't have a D. He needed to keep his biggest fans happy. You gave up your family and that performance. No wonder she left. What a loser.
Anyway.
So anyway, we're going to get into the next topics today, and we're going to talk about your news. What do you got today?
My news? Is it
It's the NFL's news.
is it mine now? This is fantastic. All right.
You're our weather girl.
I am.
Steve. You're
We're going to get an
Where's my
intro for
intro,
you
damn it?
eventually. We're going to get an intro
Yes.
for you eventually.
Coming
Yeah.
to you live, Channel 5. All right, so news. Cardinals, they hired a new guy. They hired a new GM. Monty Ossenfort. I think that's how you pronounce it. I do not know. I also kind of don't care. But it looks like Monty, and it reads like Ossenfort. So there you go. You got a thing for him?
I do.
No, I don't have. We don't have anything for those hirings yet.
Oh, my Atlanta.
Sorry, last second. We apologize.
So he's the new GM for the Cardinals. He was a former personal executive with the Titans. I mean, Titans, they moved their GM because he made an awful trade when he shipped A.J. Brown off for Treylon Burks, so that didn't go so great. But
yeah. So like, I had the question with you earlier in the week though, because we were talking about this,
yep.
and did he have anything to do with A.J. Brown, or was that more of a GM because he wasn't the GM at the time?
He was not the GM, so
He was like a financial aid
just
guy.
he's personal executive. That
Right.
was his title, so that's what they ran with. Oh,
There
see,
we
there
go.
it is. See, there he is. There he is, guys. Well done. Well done.
He
Thanks.
looks like a
He
GM.
looks like he should be in Arizona.
Yeah, he does. He looks like a slimmer Kime, but anyway.
He better put some suntan lotion on that.
Better
dome.
not touch any women. Moving on. Russell Gage, his concussion. Did you see that play? Did you see him?
I did not see the play, but it
Goofy.
has been talked about, and everybody's happy that he did come out alive.
Yeah,
on
that was a little scary.
Yes.
That was
Very
terrifying. It was terrifying.
about
He at the initial hit, it looked like he couldn't get up. He was just trying. He was just kind of like a fish out of water, except like he was moving, but it almost seemed like he was only moving because
So like Tua.
not even. He didn't get up.
Well, Tua just kind of locked, and then
No,
he
and
didn't
then
even
they
do that.
picked, then they picked him
It
up.
almost looked like he. I mean, if he was out, because the camera didn't. You didn't get in there with the camera, like to see. Like you could see Tua was sleeping. You know.
Oh yeah, he completely gone.
Yeah, he had the claw hands.
Yeah. He. Oh, man.
So he was awake. So
Yeah, I mean,
so-
presumably he was awake. I don't
Alright.
know if they ever said he lost consciousness. I guess it came out though that he's got. Oh Jesus, he's got.
Ryan's probably watching and saw that. I feel
I
bad
hope
for
so.
Ryan
He's
on
gonna
that
be.
one.
He's gonna be okay. He's got movement in all his extremities, so that's big. That's big news.
Speaking of that, did you see how Todd Bowles went about that?
No.
No, what did
So-
Todd Bowles do? Because I didn't see that.
So they asked him if there was any update on Russell Gage, and with no expression at all, he just looked to whoever asked the question and said, I really don't know. He was moving his hands, but other than that, I really don't know how he's doing, which I guess it makes sense at the time being. After you lose a playoff game, you're probably not in the best hopes.
Right. I mean,
But
it happened
you
late in the
think-
fourth too.
Yeah, you think you would check up on your guy immediately as soon as you go to the locker room, I would have to think.
I mean, what's the likelihood that they didn't have an update yet? What do you think? I mean, like, is it likely?
I think it was pretty likely. I mean, we had updates on DeMar Hamlin pretty quickly coming out.
DeMar Hamlin died.
Yeah, well, yeah. DeMar Hamlin
He was
did
that
die,
body on the
but-
field.
We
I mean, that
still
came
don't
out-
have updates on DeMar
But,
Hamlin.
well,
Apparently
no,
he's-
we do. He's actually in the facility with the Bills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's doing
Yeah,
backflips.
but
now.
We don't
He's
know
okay,
what.
guys.
We still don't know what happened.
Well, he essentially died on the
That's
field.
true.
They
Yeah, they
brought
did
him
take
back.
him
They don't know the
resuscitated him and
reason though.
everything.
They don't know if it was endocarditis.
Or if it was the shot. I mean, they don't.
Well, no, I'm not talking about endocarditis. Is essentially an enlarged heart. But like there was also the same situation, which I can never remember what it's called when he gets hit and that T-wave situation.
Cardiac.
No, cardiac arrest. What he had on the field.
Oh yeah, that happens with some young guys.
Something
like some younger
meiosis or something like that. I'm telling you, yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah, I can't remember the language for it,
I'll
but
take your word for it. You
a
know.
medical term.
yeah. But so that's what I'm saying. So like, we don't know what happened with him, and I think the NFL, what they try to do their best of is
Sweep it
not
under
let
the rug.
anything out until it has to come out. Hence, every single TMZ video that's ever shown up with any evidence of assault.
Oh, you mean like
Because the NFL
Ray
knows
Rice.
about these situations.
Ray Rice?
Well, the NFL knows about all these situations. They choose to sweep it under the rug until someone gets a hold of the video.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the same thing kind of happened with Kareem Hunt, Ray Rice. I mean, that Ray Rice was suspended one game, and then he was blackballed from the league after the TMZ video dropped.
It was
I mean,
2
was
games.
Pretty,
Yeah,
oh,
was-
2 games, my
It was 2 games.
that was, I mean, it was a hell of an uppercut, but you know, it is what it is. All right, moving
She
on.
assaulted him first.
I mean, didn't she spit on him or something?
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. So
That's considered assault in like 48 states.
Yep, you get what you get, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. That was bad. That was a rough uppercut. Anyway, Brett Maher.
You're my hero.
I don't know if you guys saw this absolute.
I'm saving those for Saturday.
What do you consider an absolute?
No.
I
an
don't have-
absolute debacle
Yes.
on the football. You're saving those. Why are you going to save those?
I'm gonna.
Because I have good ones for today.
Oh, my
He had
Lord.
money on the under.
I am.
He had.
Yeah, there's no way you miss
This guy
2
missed
kicks
4
Extra
extra
all
points. 4
year, and then you miss 4 in a playoff game.
Yeah, there is.
That
He
just-
hates Tom Brady.
Yeah, he hates that.
Could be sleeping with Giselle.
I mean, anybody could be at this point.
Well, you know.
Well, we all know AB is.
Oh, be dragging that bag.
All
Anyway,
right, there you go. I'll have that one for you.
is that up right now?
Yes.
Can people say that currently? That is funny. Oh, what is this? You gotta.
I mean, he looked like every Cleveland kicker we've ever had in that playoff game.
No, that's not what I wanted.
What are you doing? This guy. Anyway, win or lose, I think that Dallas might replace him next year. It is what it is. Harbaugh, he is staying in Michigan.
Well, first off, how do you not replace him during the game?
Right.
Well, I mean, Jerry Jones, that was fake.
It's a playoff
That was a fake
game.
tweet. It was a fake
I was
tweet.
just gonna
But he
say.
did say it was tweeted out.
The
that
Manning
he was gonna replace
cast
him.
was pretty funny though.
Oh my God,
Half,
Dan
like-
Campbell
What?
watching it happen was like, oh,
They
no.
kept asking, "Can you fire a guy during the game?"
Well, Peyton Manning after the third, I think, missed extra point. He gets up from his chair. He's like, "Why are we even kicking it? Why not go for 2? Why are we not going for 2 at
That's actually why the Browns used to
Like-
go for 2.
Well, you know,
That's why I said, being a Browns fan,
statistically,
we
it
didn't
is
have a
smarter to
kicker.
go for 2.
Well, I'm not
We've
gonna say
been
didn't.
conditioned just to go for 2.
I'm gonna say we didn't have a kicker. We still don't have a kicker, but we didn't have a kicker since Phil Dawson.
I was about to say
Cade
Phil
York,
Dawson.
he's a rookie. I'm hoping he does something next year. but-
I'm not gonna argue that, but I'm just saying he's
got
struggling.
I mean,
Yeah, he's
not
got a lot
everybody.
to
Not
live up to.
everybody's got Justin Tucker to win games for him.
Justin Tucker was horrible his first 2 years.
It's okay. Hopefully, Cade York will get that time, but I don't think he will. Harbaugh,
You have to give him that time. You drafted him in the 3rd round.
Oh yeah.
You have to give him that time.
Fourth
It
round.
was 4th round.
I don't care. You still drafted him.
Yeah, Harbaugh's gonna stay in Michigan. He came out and said, "Oh, I'm gonna stay with my guys."
Who cares?
I'm gonna stay with nobody gives.
I don't care about the state up north.
Nope.
Michigan sucks ass. Jim Schwartz.
Does that
hired-
mean Sean Payton's going to Arizona?
I think so. Yeah, I think Sean Payton's
Yeah.
going.
There was rumors that for that is Sean Payton was on Colin Cowherd's show yesterday, and from his mouth he said it's going to take at least a 1st-round pick for me to go anywhere other than the Saints, like for him to move. And he had a 70% chance of coming back to the NFL, and that was last year.
Dude,
on
Chicago,
Fox.
fire your head coach.
Oh man, Eberflus. Shoot. Hit 1 year. I don't know.
They did that to
You
Lovie
take
Smith.
Eberflus or Sean Payton?
I mean, you already offload all your defensive talent. Sean Payton's not a defensive coach.
You've got multiple firsts
Your
and
offense-
Justin Fields.
I don't know. I want to see Eberflus get another year.
And you
but
can
I
trade
get it.
out to the Colts and still have a 4th and pick up other 1st-round picks.
I mean, if we're being honest, they should trade down to the Colts, but we could talk about that on another day. They should, trade down to 4. Let the Colts waste a pick.
All right, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you any further.
No, it's okay. I forgive you. I forgive you. That is. Oh, there's the cat. Jim Schwartz. He got hired as the Browns DC. I think that was a really, really good hire personally.
This dude was in the Detroit Lions as a head coach.
Yeah.
And their defense was a top 5 defense the entire time he was there.
Yep. For the
Now, I won't talk about their winning record.
Well, no, they didn't win too many games. However, the defense was good.
That's not his job now. Just defense. That's it.
Exactly. His defense was really good for Philly too. His last year in 2020 as the DC was not so great. However, he specializes in run D, which the Browns are atrocious.
Do you know that he started in Cleveland for his NFL career as a personnel scout? Yeah.
1995.
5 to 8, I think.
He started as a
95
scout?
Yeah.
Welcome home, buddy. Gosh, dang.
Wait, 95 to 08?
95, 90.
90.
Oh, I was going to say that he went right to Detroit from a scout and became a head coach?
No, he was
Jesus.
He was DC in New Orleans?
I do really like this signing by
think it
the
was New Orleans
Browns.
first,
I'll be
yeah.
honest.
Schwartz?
Yeah.
No.
He did not go straight.
Why-
He
so-
did not go straight to the Lions.
So
No,
why do you
Philly,
enjoy this?
Bills, Titans.
Why do you enjoy the signing by the Browns so much?
Because we have the talent to be a top 10 defense easily. We just need tackles and maybe one more linebacker to put with JOK.
Which, I mean, that's
we
what a lot
just
of
need
people are saying.
tackles. We have no D tackles. You can't put guys who
See, I disagree
aren't
with
gonna
that.
start on
I
any
disagree
other
with
team.
that. I
Go ahead,
disagree
go
with
ahead and
that.
tell me you like Winfrey.
So, like,
Go ahead.
my thing is, like, you still have Togiai. I think he needs development. And Togiai coming out of college looked pretty good. I think he needs development. You still have Perrion Winfrey. I get
like
he's an
Winfrey
end.
over Togiai.
And
Togiai?
Winfrey, if they could just go in the locker room and figure out what's going on culturally in that locker room, why these guys just don't care, won't show up to practice. And that's why Schwartz is there.
Yeah.
Is because he's going to light a fire under these guys. That's the whole.
which
That's-
Joe Woods
that's the
couldn't
plan.
do because Joe Woods has no expression. He didn't care if he
Well,
would've
Didi
lost
said
the
he's just
job
always
or-
happy all the time.
I love Aditi.
That's all she said.
Who's
Joe
always
Woods
happy?
is just an always happy kind of guy.
How?
So-
How can you be that happy? Oh my God.
Because he's still getting paid. We're still gonna pay him.
I
he don't care.
I think there's
he
this.
does not care.
I think there's this false thought in the Cleveland area that we just have to wipe out the front seven and go get new guys outside of Myles Garrett.
No,
and
no,
I,
no.
I completely disagree with that.
You think
I don't
maybe
think you not having first round draft picks. I think Schwartz was brought here to develop that talent because you have Myles Garrett.
Right.
I mean,
So you develop around Myles Garrett. You teach these guys how to do it, and you also hold Myles Garrett accountable for all of his false issues.
Which I get, but we're in a now mode. I mean, development. I can understand where we can get guys that are going to develop over maybe a season or two, but we cannot take these guys that are going to take 3-4 years.
I mean, Miles is what, 28
it's
now?
Yeah, I mean, but Miles has been grade A since the beginning, obviously. But other than that, who else on our defense do you guys love?
Oh, I know
I
know you hate Denzel. So
I do not like Denzel.
I really
did not
so-
like that signing. He misses too many games. He's made of glass. He can't tackle. He's not big bodied. He just, I don't know. I don't like the way he tackles. He doesn't tackle smart.
I agree.
doesn't wrap up.
He throws his body at the guy.
Yeah.
And
That's all he's
Delpit kind of does that same thing.
Delpit's
But
also
the-
6'3", 220.
But the difference is coaching, right? So like you coach, you got to tackle. You can do that easily. You can't coach, you got to read.
what was
and
Greedy-
it's not Heinz Ward. Jesus criminy.
Hindsight?
Denzel Ward is a very good corner when it comes to reading coverages.
Let me ask you this: would you trade Denzel Ward for a first-round pick?
Hands
this
down.
season?
Hands down.
Exactly.
If I can free up that much cap space, hands down.
I would take it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you're talking $22 million.
Exactly.
Hands down, I'll free up
Off-
that.
Yep. Off the book.
Greedy is 6'2", 185 soon.
Oh, yeah, no. But so my statement was going to be
Oh, yeah, Greedy's
coming in-
gone.
What do you mean he's gone?
Greedy's gone. He's out of contract.
Yeah,
Greedy
they're-
He's He's out of contract.
Yeah.
He's a
He
free
was
agent.
injured his first two seasons.
What I was
That's
going to
why
say
you don't
about
remember
Greedy
him.
is his biggest slight getting drafted was he can't tackle. His rookie year, he changed that around. He showed everybody that he's willing to tackle.
Outside of his shoulder.
He's willing. Well, yeah, but he was willing to do it. He was stepping up. He was taking these hits. He shut everybody up. No one's talked about it since.
Well, Greedy was such a bust just because of the simple fact that the injury ruined his career. When you have a pinched nerve and your job is to tackle and throw your body on the line, it's not a good situation. And if I'm anybody, I don't touch him with a 10-foot pole outside of a guy like a third or fourth string guy who I need to just come in a couple plays here and there. Like Greedy is just it's sad to say because I really liked his talent coming out of college, but with the injury,
I remember where I
It's
was
not
when we
gonna
drafted
happen.
him. I was at what's that seafood spot?
Wasn't that the same year as Manziel?
Red Lobster.
No, down by the
what
river, seafood spot. I don't know. Jimmy was
Pickle Bills.
Yeah, I was down there. Jimmy, we were watching the draft. I was there with Sarah, and he came through, and I saw, hey, did you see we drafted Greedy? We were excited, man.
And then he said Super Bowl bound, got hurt,
Yeah.
didn't play his first year.
You know who I'm really excited
Dumbass.
for in these next couple seasons is going to be Martin Emerson. He
I
looks like a stud, 68th overall pick.
We'll get into that
I
later.
mean,
today?
He looks,
Are we?
We're
he
going to
looks
talk
like
about
the
him
real
later.
deal.
Oh, all right.
He looks like the real deal. And I know a lot of
think so.
people are going to say...
That is a guy that is just overlooked in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
He is.
But people are going to say, well, Denzel Ward was the number one corner. No. Denzel Ward, if you look at the stats, this season was not our number one corner at all. Martin Emerson
the last
stepped up.
5 games,
right to
I would
that.
disagree with that. But yes, I agree over the entire time.
Yeah,
Yes,
Martin
I
Emerson
agree.
stepped up in,
What el-
in
I think so,
position
yeah.
with that
What
Yeah.
else you got? I mean, outside of Anthony Schwartz, or not Anthony, jeez,
Jim,
that guy sucks.
He
Anthony
needs
Schwartz.
to
Talking
go.
about a guy that needs to be taken out back and shot.
Hey, if I'm Schwartz, my first job is to tell Stefanski to fire Anthony Schwartz. I need another guy.
Get rid of that dude. I mean, I don't
Or
know.
play David Bell for once.
Oh,
You know what though,
please.
David
Put him over
Bell.
the middle, he
Is
can
it,
take
see,
a
that's
hit.
that's my question though. Is that Stefanski's issue with David Bell, or is it just David Bell still wasn't healthy and they didn't want to waste that?
I don't
that
think
out?
think it was-
Stefanski wants to put a rookie over the middle.
I don't think so.
Well, yeah, because he learned
Right.
that with Anthony Schwartz.
But David
Anthony
Bell-
Schwartz hasn't been the same.
Nah.
Schwartz
But-
can't catch to begin with.
Yeah,
They knew when
Schwartz-
he drafted
yes.
him that he doesn't have good hands, and they wanted to develop him, but yet they put him as a starting kick returner and punt returner.
Well, I just think it's
Wrong.
fear. he
David
had
Bell
fear.
is big, though. He can go over the middle. He can take a hit.
Yeah,
He's
that-
going to get the ball.
that was his-
I mean,
that was
that's
a-
what he did in Purdue. I mean,
Yep.
he was just the guy to go over the middle,
Yep.
take a hit.
Yep.
In the Big Ten, I mean, it's not like those defenses in the Big Ten are weak
No.
at all. I mean, a lot
So-
of
Penn
these
State,
defensive tackles
Wisconsin.
and
Dude,
defensive linemen
There's
come
like
from
two
the
good
Big Ten.
defenses.
Stop it. Dudes can take hits. I
Yeah,
mean,
but,
I'm
there's
not
still some
sold.
good
Yeah.
defensive players that come out of the
I agree.
Iowa. Iowa's known for
Iowa's
offensive
known
side.
for stopping some of these great offenses.
And they
I
have
would
some
agree.
of the greatest centers that have come out in the last couple of years, I would have to say.
That's true. That's a fair statement. Yeah. So that's Dennis Schwartz. I think the run defense going to improve. Pass defense, you got to lean on your dude's talent. Let them play man. Let them do what you draft them to do, and you'll be all right. Buccaneers. They're expected to fire Byron Leftwich. They're going to fire their OC.
Really?
Jimmy, we all agree with you, by
Hey,
the way.
Jimmy, he'll run with Usain Bolt.
Oh Jesus.
Who will?
Schwartz. He should have stuck with track.
You should have
You
stuck
can
with
get
get
that.
it first for Denzel Ward. Mike.
I don't
There's no
see-
way you can't.
Here's the thing. A lot of people don't. They overestimate and underestimate speed. Like a straight line speed is totally different. I don't know if Anthony Schwartz would
Oh,
run
like-
with Usain Bolt.
Like DK speed.
DK has speed.
DK's
DK's
stupid
Oh, yeah.
fast.
fast.
DK is.
He's like cheetah fast. He's up there with Tyreek.
I was
would
just
have
gonna
to
say, DK
Huh?
and Chubb are both.
He just can't
almost as
stop on a
fast as
dime.
Tyreek. Yeah.
Yeah, Schwartz probably should have stuck with track.
Did they fire him? Oh man, see, I wasn't sure if they did or not.
The last thing I saw was likely to be.
Yeah, that's what I have
Yeah, I read
It
expected.
was
last
back and
night.
forth.
Jimmy said they already did, but I mean,
Yeah,
that's a bad
Leftwich got
move.
fired like the day after the game.
That's bad. That's a bad move.
Thank God.
I mean, he was there when Brady
is-
led the league in passing last year.
Why
He
is
was
that a
there when
bad move?
Jameis, He was there when Jameis led the league in
What's that,
passing.
KJ?
that's not a good thing when a quarterback leads the league in passing. You're not balanced.
What do you mean?
Look at the league. You
couldn't run the
have
ball
to
this
be
year.
balanced to make it to the playoffs.
But they made it
Look
to
at
the
every
playoffs.
single
They-
team that's in the
they made
playoffs
the
right now.
playoffs.
The
and they
Chiefs
weren't
don't
balanced.
have the best run game this season, so he is right.
Wrong.
it's not on Leftwich.
Wrong. Do you
I
realize
disagree.
Isaiah Pacheco in the amount of games he started, he has almost 1,000 yards?
Does
No
he really? I
way.
did not
Yeah.
realize
No
that.
So like
way.
wrong.
What's that?
They have a run game.
No.
They don't need to utilize it as much as they need to, as many would say, but they have a run. I have the stats. Don't worry.
Go ahead,
Which
bring
is
them up.
worry.
Where were
crazy
they at?
because the way they
You're
ran
gonna tell me
Hunt when they had
Pacheco's
him.
170
1,000
170 attempts, 830 yards, 5 TDs, 4.9 yards per average.
That's impressive.
And
How
that's
many-
just
Why
him.
didn't
That's
they
not
play him?
including CEH at the beginning of the year.
All right, but how
Yeah,
many of
CH
those
was doing
TDs came within the
Speaking
the
of-
red zone?
What's that?
I'm assuming those TDs probably did come in the
Yeah.
red zone. That's what a running back's for, is to get in the red zone. You're supposed to pass downfield, and the running back's supposed to get you in the red zone. That's how old school football
Which,
used
I
to be
mean,
ran.
Every team now in the NFL is going to a two-back or two-headed
Yes.
running back. I
Committee.
mean,
Yeah.
except for the Browns. You know,
Yeah.
we just run Chubb. and
Browns are a
Hunt
committee
maybe
back.
5 times.
Browns will be a committee back next year. You'll
Yeah, I was
see.
just gonna say.
I hope we run
You'll see a
Jerome
lot
Ford.
of
I really do.
Jerome Ford. You'll see. I
D'Ernest.
don't know if D'Ernest will be there or not because I think he's a free agent and
think so,
someone
too.
might pick him up.
Him and.
But I don't disagree that the Browns might draft the running back also this year.
I could
don't-
see
So-
D'Ernest going to Miami.
That would drive me crazy if the draft fit another running back. You
All
have
right, but
so
Wait,
many
anything
Ford
else
is
in
going
news
to
and
Miami?
rumors?
I mean, Chargers fired their OC and their QB's coach.
Well, they had to fire somebody after
I
the
mean,
abysmal
Couldn't
loss.
fire their
I
head
mean,
coach.
You let
Right.
211
He's coming back.
second half yards up to
I like-
Trevor
see, I-
Lawrence.
I-
They already announced it.
It was back and forth. The same thing with the Byron Leftwich.
No, they already announced that he's coming back. Staley, right?
Yeah.
No,
They already
they're-
announced
so
Staley's
I-
coming
I
back.
saw
Their
that-
OC though, their OC they
Yeah.
fired.
Joe Lombardi's gone. Shane Day. I'm sorry, the QB coach is gone too. Whatever. I mean, like,
But it just means Staley has to figure shit out this year.
yeah, well, he's a defensive guy. You got to figure it out.
You also need
Like,
a full healthy team for a full season. We talked about that.
We
earlier.
did talk about that.
And
We
not,
talked
and
about it on
not
the
play
show
your
too.
starters in a pointless game and break their back.
Or call a
Well,
timeout
yeah,
last year that cost you the
Right.
playoffs. with
To
the
be
Raiders.
honest, that's the only decision that would have made me fire Staley.
Was playing Mike Williams.
You do not play Mike Williams when you already clinched playoffs and you already clinched that spot in that
Right.
position.
It's uncertain if he needs back surgery too.
It's like the
which that's
Giants.
big,
They
dude.
didn't. They sat all their starters because no matter what would have happened,
They still played the same team no matter the
it was going
outcome.
to be the same record regardless.
Yeah, that's just a stupid situation, to be honest.
Yeah, it was bad. We got a couple rumors. You want to talk
What do we got for rumors?
Yeah, TB12.
Tom Brady ain't going nowhere.
You think he's gonna stay in Tampa?
But a vacation home.
Well, see, I don't think so. I don't think he's done either. So front runners right now: Titans, Niners, Raiders. I don't really like any of those for him. Got to be honest. I mean,
Well, so here's
Titans
one
would
question.
be
Here's
fun.
one question for you: Is Tom Brady going to a cold weather team?
no.
No. And
Why-
I don't see him going to the Raiders. The only reason the Raiders are up there because of McDaniels.
Right, and
then-
they don't have a defense, and he wants to
No.
win now.
And he wants a defense that he can rely on where he doesn't have to go out and win a shootout every single game.
I agree. That's why Titans and Niners make sense. But
The Titans, I think, is
Niners make
Rodgers.
sense, but the Niners aren't going to go after an old quarterback
Nope.
when they have Brock Purdy producing right now.
when they have their third string dude producing, I mean,
How long do you think the Purdy lasts? Do you think he starts next year, regardless
Oh.
of how this season?
I think
gotta-
he's-
I think he does.
So his stats are gross.
Yeah, he won Player of the Month in November and December.
Well, I think he starts
Or
next year.
Rookie of the Month.
I just
in both
think
those
people
months.
also need to understand there's a sophomore slump, and the reason for the sophomore slump
Absolutely.
is because people now have film on you. They get to see what your habits are
got
when
Watson
you're
up
playing
there.
the game.
Jeez.
Yeah, and
Not
everybody
Trevor
has a
Lawrence.
sophomore
Jeez.
slump, but it
Well, not everybody,
Yeah,
but
not
most.
Trevor Lawrence.
But most.
yeah, but it's how you build off that.
Because everybody would say Lamar
come
would have a
back.
sophomore slump, and he was an MVP in his sophomore year.
That's all Lamar
That's
has
okay.
is an MVP. I don't care what anybody says. That's all he has.
Anyways, we're not going to
Ryan,
get on
where
that
are you?
hype train today.
Ryan, where are you?
Oh yeah, come here, Ryan. Eat the hook. Oh yeah.
What other?
Okay, so anyway, Sean Payton, he interviewed with the Texans on Monday, and the Denver, the Broncos and the Panthers are waiting. I think
I would love to see Sean Payton on the Texans. That defense is stout
They
right
could
now.
do it. They
if
really
they can go
could.
get a D end, I don't know if the offense has to produce much more. Dude, they're putting up 24 points a game.
I mean, no, the offense has got to show up. I mean, so you know why I like him in Arizona?
I actually like him in Houston. I think it's a great idea.
No, if you get rid of Kyler, yes.
No,
I don't
he's
see
going
Kyler staying.
because
Houston's not far from New Orleans.
Yeah, well,
I think Kyler's done.
Yes.
you think he's done?
He's
Like
gonna
washed?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna.
He
He's
just
gonna,
got a contract.
He's gonna
So-
pursue. So did what Cliff? He's signed through 2027.
Yeah,
he's enjoying
You know-
Thailand for another
It's
5
funny.
years.
It's funny
so
that you
good.
said that because I haven't brought that up
You
yet.
know who would love Kyler is Indianapolis because they love drafting quarterbacks that don't fit their system.
Yeah,
or
they
are
do.
old as dirt.
No,
I
Andrew
asked-
Luck fit their system.
So-
Their line sucked.
Yeah,
That
but
caused his
exactly.
retirement
That's
early.
different.
Would you
Yes.
like if you're Arizona, do you trade like Kyler for Lamar straight up, or do you trade Kyler for Derek Carr straight up?
I'd take Derek Carr over Lamar and Kyler. He has the most
I
fourth
like
quarter
this guy.
comebacks.
I don't even know his takes, and I'm just asking questions, and he's siding with me left and right.
Comebacks since he was drafted, and other than him having Devontae Adams this year, and I know he had Michael Crabtree and Amari Cooper at some point, but
That's racist.
both those
Bo.
guys left.
Jeez.
What did he have? I mean,
Well,
he
the
had
only reason
Hunter
Amari
Renfrow.
Cooper left is because someone was depleting
He
the
had Hunter
entire team.
Renfro, a hurt Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs that they weren't
No,
using.
this year.
Josh Jacobs is legit.
This year they didn't use him properly last.
They won't
year.
have Josh. Again,
Josh is gone.
Josh
He's
Jacobs
gone.
averaged 10 touchdowns a season, bro.
Didn't
I brought
At
that
3
stat
yards
up
a
to you a
carry.
couple weeks ago. I'm telling you, Josh.
I
Jacobs-
showed it up.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs is legit. I don't understand the hate
I'm not
for him.
talking shit on Josh.
Oh, I
Jacobs.
understand.
But like, why do you not understand that this guy wasn't bad last year? Now here's
worry-
I understand.
he doesn't have enough tread left, which I know
He doesn't.
He played at Alabama SEC school where they run
a
all
lot,
the time, a lot. I mean, but what injuries has he had
none.
in the NFL?
not yet.
A couple
None
hamstrings?
yet.
I
He
think
has no
yeah.
major soft tissue injuries.
that's the issue.
I mean,
right
you
there.
can't
plays
say
on-
that. You
Shut your mouth, you bastard!
You can't give that bad. You can't give that bad juju on him.
But-
Come on.
But they don't play on turf.
Not on my
No,
team.
they
on
don't.
grass.
That's
It rolls out.
That's key. I think so.
I think we need to change that
Nick
rule.
Chubb.
And I know we're going down.
Nick Chubb,
There was a thing. It would cost
it's pennies.
15 or
Derrick Henry.
158 million
Derrick
to
Henry.
get all fields to be grass.
It's
something
pennies
like
compared
that.
to what these
It
guys
should
make.
be. I mean, that should be a rule. It needs to be all grass. This league makes
talking
so
about
much
it.
money, and these
They're
owners
talking
make
about it.
so much money. It doesn't cost that much for them to do.
All right,
it.
I mean, you
And
could put brand new
real
sod down
aspect of
every year.
everything.
Right.
I mean,
Well, the
you
Broncos
could. You could
put-
change it. I mean, I don't want to say weekly, but I mean, like that's what
So-
you hire ground crew for.
Jacobs has 1,072 rushing attempts.
Bro.
His 4 years. We
I,
did
gave,
it
I was
against
saying,
that
I did.
player.
I did the player comparison
know.
on Saturday.
I'm just reiterating it for anyone that didn't watch Saturday.
1,072 yards, over 1,000 receiving yards, or 1,072
attempts.
carries, over 1,000 receiving yards, and what 4,500 some odd rushing yards.
47.
Yeah. So I mean,
Well, I'm just saying
the
because
dude's a stud. He's averaging over 1,000 yards a season, 10 touchdowns
yeah.
a year.
All right,
Like,
where's he going next year? Let's wrap up Josh Jacobs. Where's he going
Chicago.
next year? Oof.
no, he's not.
You, don't
That'd be-
think
that'd
so?
be
You
nice.
think they're going to keep David or Khalil?
Why
Herbert.
wouldn't you? They're both younger, if not the same age.
Where do you think he
they
goes
both
then?
produce.
I could. See, I mean, I did say the Ernest could go to Miami, but I don't know how much money Miami has to spend. I could see Jacobs going to Miami. He'd be a pretty good fit with that system.
What about Jacobs going to Jacksonville?
I don't know. ETN looked good. I mean, other than a couple.
ETN
games
looks
where he was
really
hurt.
good.
ETN's mainly a majority of a passing back. I think
But
you're
are
going to
you-
have a hard time signing someone for almost $40 million.
But I don't know if he's going to ask for that much. I don't.
Carolina.
What
maybe.
did? Yeah, that's true too. If they can
Excuse
get.
me.
What
I'd like to
Chubb do?
ask you a few questions.
Chubb got
Are you
3
sure
years,
about
$36
that?
million.
You think he's not going to ask for all that money?
I don't know.
That's
if
my
it's gonna
ask
be a
you a
4-year
question.
I don't know if it's going to be a 4-year deal.
I think he wants a 4-year deal.
I would do an incentive-based contract.
Well, that's not. We don't care what you want as a team.
I mean,
it's about what Jacobs wants.
Jacobs is 24.
He's the number
He's
one running
24?
back this year. Yeah, he's
He's
young.
young.
He came in at 21, I
Man,
think, or
he's
20.
He's
But,
still been
I mean,
rode
you got,
so
you
hard.
Got, you got Hunt that's going to be out there. You got Montgomery that's going to be out there. You got Herbert that's
Well,
going to be out there.
Hunt's a shadow of himself. Like Hunt's not going to go out there and he's not going to put up 4.5 yards a carry. I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
I'm not saying
we
he's
didn't
not going to be
utilize him
bad.
right? I would almost
Why?
because he works better in a shotgun, which you run now with Watson than Chubb does.
But we
What
didn't
did you
use.
just
But
say?
we,
Did you talk about trading Chubb?
but we
Did I
didn't
just
use
miss
him.
that?
No,
Oh,
I
no.
But we didn't use him.
Oh, no.
I did not talk about
We're not-
trading
hold
Chubb
on.
because I
No,
don't wanna
he's
start
talking
a
Kareem
riot.
Hunt, but we didn't use him.
No, we didn't.
No, and that's the thing. I don't understand why we didn't trade him and I understand, I guess, why we didn't trade him.
Bo-
at the
I
deadline,
don't.
Bo
because
said
we
why
had
we-
a chance to make the playoffs.
We
but
should have
Well,
traded
no,
him, but-
no.
much of a
Bo
chance
said
did we
Bo
have?
said why we didn't trade him at the deadline, because if we lose him, we get a third, a supplemental pick for him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
So
I did
Bo
not hear
Bo
that.
said
I am
yeah.
sorry.
Bo said that's the reason why we didn't trade him at the
So
deadline.
that's actually a smart move because
Because
we
if you didn't get a
drafted-
third for him in the trade, you actually got a bigger pick by letting somebody else sign him.
Yes. All right.
So-
we're gonna move on here. We got way off topic.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Way off topic. I got a couple of Ravens to talk about next, though.
Lamar
Don't look
Jackson
at me, bro.
possibly.
So there
Don't look at me, bro.
A whole bunch of controversy surrounding Lamar Jackson.
No, there's zero controversy surrounding
look
Lamar
at
Jackson.
that, man! You're so good.
I thank
Those
you,
are-
Acho, for that take. I used it today on a buddy of mine.
Those are
His average playoff stats.
average stats.
And
in his
everybody said Lamar Jackson, if he were in, would have won that game over Tyler
play. So
Huntley.
now I do not want to get stuck on this because we're not getting stuck on this.
No,
Is a rumor.
that is a Saturday thing.
It is going to be a Saturday
I
thing.
take Baker
However,
Mayfield over Lamar Jackson.
oh no!
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Oh no! Hold on!
Oh, did you see that? Did you see that
on.
tweet?
No,
Or you're
no,
not
no,
following. Hold on. You're not following me on Twitter. So Ryan posted this tweet.
I do follow you on
Right?
Twitter.
I
No.
couldn't find you. I was trying to find you. I
So
couldn't find you on
Ryan
Twitter.
posted this tweet.
no.
I want to say he retweeted somebody's tweet about 6 months ago about Acho's take about how Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield, no matter what happens, they should get the same contract. And this was in like June or July. And now Acho is like, Lamar Jackson is to Tyler Huntley as like Brock Purdy is to
Baker
like
Mayfield.
yeah. So it's such a bad take, but
I know, but like I said, what has Lamar done since his MVP?
Nope, hold on.
He's injured.
I agree.
we could talk
It's
about
a
that
Ravens
Saturday. So
quarterback thing. Joe
whether you're
Flacco
here
after
or
the
in the
Super Bowl.
chat, we can have fun with that on Saturday.
I'm down.
It'll be funny.
All right, so hold on.
I might have you here just because it's going to be a
man.
fun
All right,
conversation.
we're going to talk about JK.
But
All
just
right, Dobbins,
that's an
hold on.
FYI for everybody out there. That's going to be a Saturday conversation. We're going to talk about Lamar Jackson and some of these quarterbacks that are in the playoffs.
It's
Just
good-
giving you guys that heads up
And
for
the ones that got
future show.
eliminated.
And that show eventually, I will have posted here. Damn it, you moved it.
What?
I'm trying to do something for post production for him. I'm going to have a show posted here.
A show post? Anyway.
Flag
all right.
that, Johnny, so you know where to look.
All right, let's get back on topic, Steve.
I want to. I know that was my bad. I want to talk about JK. He was venting to reporters about not getting the ball on the goal line, and Tyler Huntley when he fumbled.
The Marshawn Lynch situation.
and
that's
Sam
what I
Hubbard.
was about to reference, actually.
He did say if Lamar played, they would have won. I happen to think so personally because I don't know.
Would you
why.
rather have an injured Lamar or a healthy Tyler?
I know. I mean, looking at it now, logically, as you do,
An unknown Anthony Brown.
I would have taken Huntley.
They're all a lesser version of themselves.
They
in a
really
sense.
are.
I said that too. They're all subpar Lamar
Yeah,
Jackson.
they're
are.
all built around Lamar. It's like, all right, this is Lamar.
Your Dollar General
B,
Lamar.
and
Lamar
this is
C.
Lamar C. So it's just a downgrade of each one. Like, hey, he's a little bit worse. He's not as fast.
What's
but,
funny is
eh.
Huntley can actually throw a ball though, so it is what it is.
Yeah, he is. He is. I think he has a gun on him. Not as big of a gun as people would say that some other guys have, but I think he's more accurate than Lamar would be.
I think he can
for
be.
a full season.
I don't know about that.
Full season. I mean, maybe he'll get that shot, but
But you need receivers for that, not just market injuries.
And I think a lot of people would agree with that. That's obviously the Ravens' biggest issue. But I have a question on this because what goes on with Harbaugh in this situation? Harbaugh, one, blew off the reporters when they asked him a question,
Ooh.
and it was a legit question about Tyler Huntley, and they were asking a question at halftime. How do you feel about Tyler Huntley, and do you feel you're going to go to Anthony Brown? And he just kind of shrugged him off as like, you're going to find out. Who cares? Like, I don't care what you think. And I think Harbaugh, I think the news might be getting to him. I think the media is really getting to him, and he's getting a little snippy with the media. And if that's the case, I think that says something about the situation in-house.
Oh.
Yeah, his halftime report. He got snippy with the lady.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think
I think there's something going on in-house.
Oh, Ravens flock, it's not so strong. Oh no. Anyway, all right. So that's what I have for rumors.
That's it.
That's it. What do you mean that's it? We just spent
We spent 20 minutes.
Short week.
we spent
No,
a short
we're a
week.
half hour in.
Yeah, no, we spent
yeah.
20 minutes on rumors. And it was like a 10-minute intro.
Oh yeah. Well,
That's why I said that. I like the way you did that just because of where we went with all that stuff. It was fun.
Very smooth.
Yeah. I mean,
hell yeah, it was super smooth.
what else do you want to talk about today? Because
Autobahn
I
smooth.
think we were talking a little bit about some of these young guys stepping up. You brought up Emerson. You brought up who else did you bring up?
We could do rookie.
were
We
rookies.
could do rookie of the year stuff.
Let me bring this into you guys real quick.
geez.
Just quick comparison. So Martin Emerson, 60th overall pick, 0 interceptions, 63 total tackles,
1 sack.
89 targets, 48 receptions allowed, and 1 sack. All right, that's pretty good.
Are you
Then
gonna compare him
Yep.
to Sauce?
Sauce Gardner?
That a baby.
2 interceptions, 75 total
I
tackles.
don't even need to be here.
73 targets, and 33 receptions. 4th overall pick with zero
Interception.
sacks. Sorry, but I mean, getting him in the 3rd round, 60th overall, is a steal. As of right now, as of it looks now, he looks legit. Now let's see in a couple years where he is, but I think what he's going to build off of with Jim Schwartz coming in, and I think we're going to build up our secondary in the next couple of years with some free agent signings. I'd like to get rid of John Johnson. He's not worth the money. Other than that, I think we can build up our secondary with Martin Emerson and possibly trading away Denzel Ward because I think eventually his contract's going to be too expensive for the Browns with how many games he misses.
There we go.
So Bo,
That's getting marked.
So that would be similar to Bradley Chubb, even though he just got a contract.
So Bo, I want to throw this one out to you. I apologize
What you do?
about me screwing up. I thought there was a lot more to that breakdown, and apparently I didn't get it in there. So what I'm going to do is after the show, I will read that, and we will get it up online as one full segment. And on top of that, I don't like to say compensatory pick
Compensatory.
because it sucks saying it. So that's
Just say
why
comp
I would say
pick.
It's a comp. You're gonna comp pick.
so those two things out there.
You
But
can't say that. You don't like saying that word. You're well spoken.
I will get that. I knew I screwed up something. I was like, man, there was so much more to this than I read, and now I'm like, it's like 3 pages long.
There's
For some reason, I
that
didn't.
much.
For some reason, it
Bo
didn't
is
go
usually
in.
detailed in his breakdown.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So you got another compliment. There you go.
I apologize about that.
I
Bo.
got you, Bo. Don't
I
worry.
will get that on the intro though. We'll get that when you get that in the upload. We'll do that at the end of the show. Yeah. So it's funny that you said that all about Emerson
And sauce.
because, well, no, like I'm telling you right now, like if you look at my notes, I have like 15 stars next to Emerson and how he's not even recognized. But when you put him up next to Sauce, right? You said those stats. Now let's go next to Tariq Woolen, who's the other guy.
Is he the Tennessee Titans?
Seattle.
or-
Is he-
Seattle.
is he- yeah,
Tariq
Seattle.
Woolen's in Seattle, who's got 46 solo sacks, 63 total, 6
Tackles.
interceptions, and 16 passes defended. So like
How
that's
many? 16.
16.
That's a lot.
Well, so Sauce has 20.
I mean, still.
So, but like that's the two guys that like are the leaders, but yet Emerson didn't play the full year.
So we're
like-
going in defensive rookie of the year talk. as
Well,
in
I mean, we can.
That's
So we
what
can
we're
talk.
going into, baby.
We can. So we can talk. Like, here's the thing. So like, I think we break it down defensively, offensively, and then we say who's the best overall.
All right. So do you just want me to rip from who I think defensive rookie of the year is?
So
Yeah.
there's two things, right? So
Hold
a
on.
lot of people keep saying it's an AFC NFC title for defensive rookie. Am I wrong?
I always thought it was
just-
one
Who's
dude.
I just did
Sauce?
one.
It's
Yeah.
just okay. I did one too.
Yeah. So let's all
so-
just go off of if we did one per one.
All
for
right, so
offense,
give
one
me your
for defense.
defensive rookie of the year, your offensive rookie of the year,
All right.
and then give me your best offensive or your best rookie overall in your mind.
So defensive rookie of the year is going to be Aiden Hutchinson, who I'm going to say
Really?
now, who was not high on coming into the draft. I
Till he
thought he was
started
going to be a
doing
bust.
You
I will be
weren't
real
high on him?
honest. I did not like
Come
him.
on.
I love him
And
over
maybe
Kayvon Thibodeau.
because, he beat
well,
Ohio
see, I
State
don't know.
or
Thibodeau
some other
showed up.
reasons. Thibodeau did not show up.
Thibodeau showed up.
Thibodeau is...
He was not there.
Don't, that's all right. Aiden Hutchinson and who?
But Aiden,
Yes.
I like Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, here's his stats: 3 interceptions, 5 tackles, total tackles, 9.5 sacks, 9 tackles for a loss, 15 quarterback hits. So these are other rookies.
Keep other things in mind. 3 interceptions, 3 passes deflected. Those are other things that are
Yep.
also out there. So
Yeah,
he's
I did
doing
say
more
3
than just his
interceptions.
job.
Yeah, I did say 3 interceptions.
Yeah, you
but
did, I think.
Here is another guy in 2019. I'm not going to say his name. Let's see if you can guess him. Who did win Defensive Rookie of the Year with these stats: 1 interceptions, 47 total tackles, 9 sacks.
2019.
2019. NFC. I'll give you guys that.
Was that a D end?
It was a D end.
Bosa.
Was it Nick?
It was Nick Bosa.
Yeah,
That's
it was
right.
Nick.
So I mean, he's
Who's
and
going to win defensive MVP this
Yeah,
year?
he's winning Defensive Player of the Year.
I would like to disagree.
You don't think that he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year?
Max Crosby is
I just.
overly underrated.
He is. I would.
He has nobody else on that defense to help him. He has nobody on that defense to help him.
Okay.
You.
I'm the one that hyped up Max Crosby the other day, but that doesn't
I
make you an
liked
MVP.
Max
That doesn't make you an MVP.
I mean, Defensive Player of the Year.
No, yeah, defensive player of the year, not
He ain't
an
winning
MVP.
MVP.
Yeah, but it doesn't
He's
make
not
you.
gonna
It
win
doesn't make
MVP.
you defensive player of the year.
I think Nick Bosa should win the MVP.
No. Okay. So
MVP.
Oh.
MVP or defensive player?
No, I think Nick Bosa
Drake?
should win MVP.
well, so I was saying defensive MVP, but my
I know
point
what
is,
you're saying. I
I
was
think
being a
us
dick.
3 here all agree that Bosa should win the MVP because that defense doesn't do anything without Bosa, and it's been proven. But
That defensive front, the
but we
D-line's
also
good.
said the last time a defensive player won an MVP was somewhere in like the 80s or 70s.
76. Or
Yeah,
something.
so like that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, we were all
It was
still.
Lawrence
It's a
State-
co-
no,
it's a-
86 with Lawrence State.
when was the last running back to win it? Was it Peterson?
It was Peterson in
03 or 8, something
Or-
like that.
No,
No, it was
2012.
It was 2012.
Oh yeah, it was the year before the Ravens won the Super Bowl.
So I mean, and Mahomes is going to win it because there was an extra year and he broke the passing record.
Yeah,
Whatever,
which
I
is
really don't care.
garbage.
I'm
I
tired
hate
of hearing
that.
about that. You had an extra. There needs to be an asterisk against that.
I agree.
I don't
See,
care.
thank you. See, you do.
So
listen
that
to the
was
show.
your defensive. Who was your offensive?
Offensive rookie
Yeah,
would be Chris Olave.
that's a
What?
We're gonna have conversations. I'm gonna give you a reason for that. All right.
I mean, my guy's not even up there.
so then, well, don't worry. If
I like
when we
Christian
get to my
Watson, but-
conversation, we'll
you're-
have all of them up
It's
there.
all
today.
about
Watson.
you.
It is
I
always
like
about
Christian
me.
Watson, but in order for in
Christian
my
Watson is
opinion-
not even in my
in
conversation.
my
No.
opinion, to
Yeah.
you
It's
have,
because he's a Packers fan.
Shut up.
you have to play the majority.
so
of
who's
the
your
season.
rookie of the year
Aiden Hutchinson?
overall? That'd be your guy.
I mean, who does he have on that defense in Detroit?
Another guy that should be in that conversation.
In Detroit?
Who's that?
Hold on, let me give it to you.
On the
James
defense?
Houston, edge, who's also a rookie.
I forgot. They signed him in free agency, didn't they? Or did they?
No, he was a
undrafted
rookie.
rookie?
He's also
was he a rookie?
Yep.
I did not know that.
So
I didn't know that either.
What's his stats?
All right. So James Houston's stats: 8 sacks, 11 solo tackles, 12 total tackles, and 1 forced fumble.
Oh, that's nice. Did you do that?
Do you have the
Makes it-
defensive line ranking
Main
or
indicator.
run defense ranking?
No, I don't. But I could probably
I'm
get that a
pretty
little.
sure it would- I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure it's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, Detroit.
Well, no, Detroit's defensive run was horrible ranking. They were like 30,
No,
like
but
28.
Detroit's
they're
not
bad.
far from being, I think, a major contender.
I
Oh,
agree.
we all would agree with that.
I mean,
with
Bo-
Jared
Bo-
Goff,
Bo
who
would
everybody
disagree.
wrote off.
And these
I
guys,
would
these
disagree,
guys
but-
that are showing up here on the screen are a lot of these rookies that are going to be compared for defensive and offensive MVPs
I just-
that.
for the rookies.
That was
I just
well
liked
done, boys.
how.
All right, and then a couple others. Can you give me the notable mentions too for the defense first, if you can? Here's a couple defensive honorable mentions. I sent you that overlay.
Yes.
Don't make me look crazy again, bro. you do this to me all the time.
All the
doing
time.
here? What are you doing?
There's a couple honorable mentions up here too.
What is this?
But so while he's doing that, Steve, give me who you got as offensive and defensive.
It's Sauce. I like the stats. I like Emerson, right?
Sauce isn't even the number one rookie in his position. That's what pisses me off. Why does he deserve it?
I mean, number one rookie, I believe he is. I mean, at least odds on, it's Sauce.
Let me give you a stat.
It's Sauce and then Hutchinson. And I would argue Hutchinson should take it over Sauce.
So it's like a
But-
1A, 1B situation.
But if I'm going to put money on it, it's going to be Sauce. Now, granted,
let
with
me
that,
let me give you some stats. 99 solo tackles, 146 total tackles, 5 interceptions, 8 passes deflected.
146,
Is that better
Combined?
or worse than? Oh no, that's 100.
99 solo, 146 combined.
Yep, 5 interceptions, 8 passes defend.
That's pretty good.
Is that better than Sauce in your mind?
I don't have Sauce's stats.
All right,
but-
Sauce's is right here. 51 solo tackles, 75 total, 2 interceptions, 20 passes defended.
Pass defendant's so good, dude. Because that prevents him from being. Okay. All right, well, who's got the 146?
Jalen Petrie.
Oh, and
And he's not even in the conversation.
No, he should be. And he's. I mean,
I could keep going because here's another one that should.
okay. So here,
Well, here's another one that should be up there, right?
Hold
so
on,
Derek Stingley, right? We had this conversation earlier in the year.
Now I like Stingley.
Derek Stingley in 9 games, 35 solo tackles, 45 total, 1 interception, 5 passes defended.
Speaking of
in
Petrie, where was he drafted? Do you know?
I do not have his
because
draft
I feel
position. I
like-
was gonna do that. I did not have his draft position.
I think the last rookie to not. Alvin Kamara won Rookie of the Year in 2017. He was a 3rd-round pick out of Tennessee. I feel like almost ever since then, every rookie is almost a 1st-round pick for the offensive rookie.
I
of the
would
year,
probably agree because that's where most notable
the high-end
mentions.
guys.
Yeah,
I mean, and
Well-
even in the third round, the last couple of seasons.
It's funny
you're
you say
getting
that.
some
When I get
talent.
to mine, I have somebody that I completely forgot to put up here altogether, and I'll show you some stats here in a minute.
Do you have all right? So
but
I don't
who's
have
your-
the stats.
who's
so
your offensive?
Hold on.
Are you
How many other corners had 20 passes defended? As a cornerback, your job is to prevent the receiver from catching the
the
ball.
next closest would be Tariq Woolen at 16.
Then I
But
think
Tariq Woolen has 6 interceptions,
that's
as
big.
opposed to Sauce's 2.
I think that is big.
I
right?
get 4 more interceptions, but 4 different passes defended.
I mean, so then, I mean, you can
I'll
make-
take the interceptions.
you can make
I
that
think
argument,
I
right?
think
So-
Sauce is living off his name from college in all
I-
love. I'll
I-
be honest.
I
I mean,
got-
for a 4th-round pick compared to the
20,
guys we were
I
talking
don't know.
about, I mean, do you think he's that much of a difference?
no.
I mean, no.
Exactly. So
I just
is
gave
he gonna
a
cha- I
number
think
of
next year-
stats.
I
Exactly.
do think the
Tariq
next year he
Woolen.
takes a bit of a step, in my opinion. I think he does step up even more so.
You better hope that defense can
Martin
get
Emerson
better.
was my
Can that
10th
defense get
overall corner.
any better?
The
coming
Jets
out of
defense, just
out of the college.
say again.
Martin Emerson was my 10th corner overall.
I hope
coming
you
out
have
of
draft
college.
weekend off.
He does. He does
do.
stats.
I-
He already asked if he's
I do
coming.
stats.
You're gonna be here. All right. Anyway, and then I got Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker's my offensive player of the year.
You know what's funny?
My rookie.
Who's my favorite rookie in this draft? Right,
I don't
Kenneth
know.
Walker.
Was it really?
You have him in your fantasy.
I drafted him.
Right.
Like,
So
I think if he starts from week one,
He did.
Did he?
he played in week
He
one.
did.
But
Say
it was
played,
he
he
the
didn't
starter.
start.
Was he
No,
the
he didn't
starter? But I
start.
think if he's the starter from week one, he
He had a
runs away with
hernia
the
for
award.
4 weeks.
And then he came out and he
well-
had 1,000 yards rushing.
well, and then week 5, Rashad. I think it was week 5 that Rashad.
I mean,
got
this
hurt,
year's
and-
Crippled.
Yeah.
This year's running back class was not bad for. I mean, you got Tyler Algier, you got Damon Pierce, who was Isaiah Pacheco.
Damian Pierce is disgusting.
All right.
That dude
Pacheco
is
was
going to
what,
be
a
something.
7th round pick or
So-
something.
So who
But I
was
like Kenneth
your
Walker.
so who was your rookie of the year overall?
My rookie of the year overall, I put more value on on edge players than I do cornerbacks. So my rookie of the year personally would be Hutchinson. Even though he's not my defensive guy, he's 1A, it's 1A, 1B. In my opinion.
Like I said, the
I
stats
think
between
Hutchinson
him and
should get
Bosa-
it, like I said.
Yeah, between him and Bosa, I mean, those stats.
I mean, what
he's better
defensive
than
end gets
Bosa.
3 picks?
So I guess the question. So here's a question. So
3.
I have 2 questions. I guess I have. It's a two-part. It's a two-parter.
Ask me questions.
So one is what makes a player a rookie of the year, and if a guy is going to win their positional rookie position, like defensive rookie, should you give the other guy the MVP for a rookie? If it's between 2 guys, like we're saying, Aiden and Sauce for you.
Oh, okay,
right?
so like one.
So do you think Aiden should get the MVP, which would automatically mean he's better than Sauce?
So no, hold on. So I would answer that with
First off, tell me what you consider a rookie of the year. Like what makes it in your head that's the guy that everybody has to talk about as a rookie?
I would say rookie of the year. I mean, like, right, because you're going to say that you had better stats than everybody else on every defensive side of the ball in the NFL. That's right, because defensive rookie. That's my opinion. Now, if you're going to like MVPs, like what you're saying,
Yeah.
I think that Hutchinson is more valuable to Detroit than Sauce is to the Jets. My
I
opinion.
have to agree.
I would say that because I think that Hutchinson's going to be I don't want to. He's going to be a heavier. He's going to be a more stable building block for the future. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Sauce when I say that, but he lived off his name. I do agree with that statement.
Thank you.
He changed his name. His name is legally Sauce.
Oh, did he change it?
Yeah.
Because it was what?
I will say.
No, Ahmed is his middle name.
I will say he is a big body corner, and I do like his longevity, especially on this defense. I do think that Jets defense is going to be a top 5 defense for the next 3 to 4 years.
What do you guys think specifies an MVP?
That was literally my question.
Like,
I don't think Steve answered
think,
it.
I did.
So I think what
Well,
specifies
maybe I
an
didn't.
MVP is somebody who helps
Oh, no, I did.
the team win and help, like Nick Bosa. He helped them win, obviously.
Without
the game
Nick-
against the
Hold on, it
Seahawks.
Right, he's
sounds
the
like-
most valuable
It
player.
sounds like the Bo and Ryan
I mean,
conversation.
Aiden Hutchinson. How many games did they win without Aiden Hutchinson on that defense?
I mean, I don't think he was hurt at all this year.
Hey,
He
Jimmy,
played every game, didn't he?
But that's what I'm
Hutchinson,
saying,
I
he
think,
played
had
every
the
game.
same amount of picks as.
Yes,
He had
the
more
same
than
amount.
Sauce.
Oh yeah, he had one more because he played.
Sauce
But
only had 2.
that's not
Oh.
fair because Aiden played corner for a game.
A play.
I
That's
mean,
not his fault. I mean, he's a
Bo-
dual threat, I guess, right?
Bo, I kind of like that would be one for Wheels over here. I agree with that.
check the matchups.
Yeah, about who they played that year.
No, I mean stats is stats. I mean, but
I agree with your argument. Like, right? So like MVP, that's you're cream of the crop, but you help your team win. So like that's kind of like that's my thought process in what makes an MVP, let alone a defensive MVP.
But
Which
do you-
is why KJ said Saturday that Justin Tucker and that whole conversation.
Yeah, well, I had to bring a kicker into an MVP conversation because to me they're just underrated. Like, why are kickers so underrated when you have to pay kickers now to win games? They moved it back to 35 for an extra point, and extra points and field goals make a difference. And when you got a team like the Ravens who would never be in the playoffs if it wasn't for Justin Tucker,
But Brett Maher couldn't do it.
marked.
I'm just saying.
could've started
I'm just
a war.
saying.
No,
and
it's
look,
okay,
well,
though.
hold on.
That's
Look
true.
at Chicago, who didn't make it because of a
the
kicker.
double doink.
Right.
Double doink.
And look at the
What is that,
Browns.
Cody
The
Parkey,
Browns were
I think?
losing. The Browns were losing almost every game by 3 points when they didn't have a kicker.
No kidding.
Phil Dawson made a difference on this team.
Yeah, a
did.
kicker matters. I mean, 100% a kicker matters. That's the reason he's on the roster is he matters. But like you said, unless with them moving back the field goal or the extra point in the field goals, obviously being in the ranges of where that these kickers are kicking them from.
1 point
They're
wins
more
matter
and
now.
more- Yeah, they're
Yep.
more and more value. Too bad Stefanski doesn't realize that 1 point matters.
Don't get me started, dude.
Apparently, Dallas didn't understand
So let me give you
They won, so it's okay.
I'm gonna throw a curveball out there just because this agitates me.
I can't hit the curve.
Did you give the offensive players and the defensive players for notable mentions?
Yes.
Okay, because so the offensive players that I have for notable mentions are Brian Robinson, Isaiah Pacheco, and Christian Watson.
Which I
Now,
completely agree with.
I mean, it's
these guys, I also missed a guy, and that was Tyler Algier. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you a reason why I missed Tyler Algier.
okay.
Because I would have to say Tyler Algier and Kenneth Walker are 1A and 1B for offensive MVP. And the reason I'm going to say that is because if you look at Tyler Algier's stats, they're absurd. 210 attempts, 1,035 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4.9 yards for the average, and he played all year.
And one of the worst defensive or offensive
Offenses of the league.
lines.
And they had Cordero Patterson.
They were
But well,
For a majority of that.
Patterson was hurt for a good chunk.
Yeah.
And
No,
he
yeah, but
also
6
played in the
weeks.
worst division.
But Cordero Patterson at the start of the season, and let's not count that as the worst division defensively.
Minus Carolina.
Defensively. Let's not count that as the
so
worst
what-
The
division.
Saints dropped the ball.
you have to. Well, no, Saints defense was actually pretty
Saints
good.
defense was good. The Bucks were old and injured, and Carolina has not been a bad defense.
Actually, Carolina's been a really good defense.
Atlanta's
Other
the
than
worst
Carolina.
defensive
It
team
was.
there.
Yeah, Carolina was the only
Yeah.
notable one.
And Cordero Patterson at the beginning of the year was averaging like 100 yards a game, and Tyler Algier still put up 1,000 yards.
You know why?
And then
okay, so yeah, but
So let me give you another guy, right?
they're a
'Cause
run first team. I don't know. I
you brought
disagree
up
with
somebody
that.
else
I
was
disagree
Dameon
with that.
Pierce, right?
Dameon Pierce.
I like
And
Dameon Pierce
Dameon
over
Pierce-
Algier,
but-
hands down.
Okay, 220 attempts. That's 10 more attempts than Algier. He had 939 yards. That's less than 1,000. Algier had over 1,000 with less attempts. 4 touchdowns and only 4.3 yards per average, the lowest in this class.
Wow. And the Bryce.
He was.
Brees
I mean,
Hall,
he was.
Brees Hall
I,
in playoff season.
I mean,
obviously. That's
okay, so
another guy
sure.
who we didn't
So
talk about.
statistically, yes.
Outside of Brian
He's also
Robinson.
on the worst team in the NFL.
Brian Robinson's what shared carries with.
Who's on
Gibson,
the worst
right?
team in the NFL? Well,
Pierce.
okay, Atlanta's pretty bad.
Yeah, but Atlanta had.
Don't
They
bring up
actually
Chiefs
had a
fans, Steve.
successful run game week in, week out. They were like 3rd in the NFL
Because
rushing
they
yards
had
a game.
Cordero Patterson, which
no.
would take away
No.
which would take away from not Dameon Pierce, Tyler Algier.
Kenneth Walker, in my opinion,
Why you okay?
jumps them because you said Tyler.
I
Algier is
haven't
1A, 1B.
gotten to Kenneth Walker.
I know you're gonna get there.
Okay, but like you just said that
We're gonna
Kenneth
all- we're
Walker
gonna all-
jumps them. The only
I did, he
reason
does.
the only reason Kenneth Walker jumps them, by the way, is because of its touchdowns.
No,
Yes.
no, it's gameplay. Statistically, they are a pass-first offense with 2 stud receiving options. He is not the first option there,
What do
and
you?
he still put up numbers. And he didn't play all year.
Kenneth Walker, 228 attempts, 1,050 yards. So Tyler Algier had 15 less yards than him on 18 less attempts.
That's good.
But
And I'm
Kenneth
not saying
Walker
he's
had
bad.
9 touchdowns. That's the only reason Kenneth Walker gets what he gets is because he made it in the end zone.
Oh yeah, I mean, they used him exclusively when they got to the end
4.6 yards
zone.
per carry.
I mean that's actually, you know what, those yards per carry for a rook, that's impressive. For all
Right,
3
but
of them.
Tyler Algier is almost at 5.
I mean, I've been rooting for Nick Chubb for a good while. I
And the
understand.
only reason I'll address the Christian Watson situation
That's garbage.
is I don't think there's a single wide receiver in this class that deserves it outside of Garrett Wilson just because of the quarterback controversy.
There you
in
go,
that area.
Mahoney Wilson. There he is.
Yeah,
Wait,
Nick
wait,
Chubb.
hold on,
So
not Olave?
No,
It's-
I don't
it's-
think Olave deserves it because of injury. You got to stay on the field.
It's Wilson over Olave.
going off of what Steve said about Nick Chubb averaged 5.2 yards per carry his rookie year, and
I-
he didn't
well-
start every game, and he still almost ran for 1,000.
But he did run for 1,000.
No,
He
he
was
did.
996.
But do you see my point though?
That would have been nice if he did. Anyway,
When you
and
got a
I
guy
think-
like Tyler Algier who did run for 1,000.
I'm not taking anything away from
I
him.
like Algier. I think Algier is just forgotten about because he's in Atlanta.
I would say that. I mean, that's
And it
fair.
doesn't help when you
But
have
how
Marcus
does
Mariota.
that not make you an offensive rookie of the year though? You put up all these stats. The only difference was you didn't hit the end zone. The only difference.
Share the
And you did it
backfield.
on the worst offense, right? You're not even in the red zone.
No, they're not. Not really. Not that often.
I guess the only thing I'd take away from is you played the Browns. That's an easy 150.
Well,
Did he put up 150?
He put up a lot against us. That was his first big game. That was his first big game.
I mean,
Hold on. So I'm gonna go with this Wilson Olave. So
okay, here we go.
I can give you the stats. I got them right here.
Olave has
Here we go.
72 receptions,
100,042 yards, 4 touchdowns,
and a
2
2-point
fumbles.
and a 2-point conversion. Wilson had 83 receptions, 1,103 yards.
You want to know the difference between the guys, bro? Olave, 3 yards after the catch. Garrett Wilson, 5 yards after the catch. Christian Watson, 6.8 yards after the catch.
I'm just saying between Olave
Quarterbacks can
Wilson-
throw guys open all day. What do you do after you catch the ball? That's the difference for me in wide receivers.
Can you make a guy miss? and
Can you
go
make
down
a
the
guy
field?
miss?
Exactly.
And that's why I think Christian Watson might be the best in that situation of those receivers.
Yeah, that's
If he's
hard.
there.
But he got to be on the field all year.
So this is I think a lot of people go off of fantasy for how rookies play, just like how people kind of hate on Josh Jacobs is because
It's a fantasy production
Exactly,
because
and
he's not
people
in the
don't-
end zone in some areas, and then when he is,
actual stats
Yep.
in game with the defenses they played where
doesn't
they're ranked.
always correlate. And I tried to say that with Mike Matter the other day when he brought
Matus?
Mike Matus. When he brought that up the other day, he's like, Josh Jacobs is a bust. I was like, well, he also said he had him on fantasy this year, but I was like, fantasy stats don't correlate to NFL
No,
stats
not at all.
always.
Not at all.
Always.
Not always, yeah. Right? Because you could have, like, Pacheco had a couple games where, or I'm sorry, not Pacheco, McKinnon. He had a
You're
couple
talking
games
about
where he
Pacheco.
hit.
Towards the end.
What?
I like talking about Pacheco.
I like Pacheco. I wish he would have.
170 attempts, 830 yards, 5 TDs, 4.9 yards per carry.
I think running backs are a dime a dozen now compared to wide receivers.
Oh, that's a Ryan take.
That
I
is a
do
right.
think
I
though,
mean,
look
Which
at
is
all
the
guys
reason
that are
why
taken this year.
Josh Jacobs probably won't get 40 million.
No, I don't think he will. He's going to ask for it.
he
but I
won't
don't
get.
think
He won't
will.
get 4 years.
And
He'll
you're-
probably get 3 and opt out after 2.
Do you think?
And he'll probably get 12 a year. He'll probably
do
get
you
a
think-
Chubb contract.
Do you think the Raiders tag him?
Yeah, I think he doesn't play though.
I think
Ooh,
he-
that's an
he'd be
expensive
stupid
tag. That's an
because
expensive
Bell-
tag when you can't afford it.
Bell was the last running back to not play under the tag, and look what happened. He's out of the league.
Bob Bell. Yeah.
And it is running back correlated
Yeah.
because quarterbacks are different. They can sit out. They'll get paid. Running backs probably won't.
I mean, yeah, but like Bo said in chat earlier, he was leading rusher. I mean, like someone's gonna pay him.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Watch out for Pickens.
You know
For
what's funny?
rookie,
That's the one guy I
Pickens-
didn't bring up because I don't think Pickens showed up until Pickett showed up.
Yes.
I think what helped Pickens is the catch against the Browns.
The catch against the Browns.
That-
Well, that's what
before
Garrett
Pickens.
Wilson-
catapulted
It was
him.
That's his
before
Odell
Pickens.
catch.
Garrett
Odell
Wilson
catch.
against the Browns had almost
Odell
200
catch.
yards.
He pushed off on Emerson's face. That's why it was a catch.
Yeah, but look at Garrett
Whatever.
Wilson on the Browns. That was Garrett Wilson's takeoff day.
That was his takeoff day.
So, like, we
That
can
was the
argue
Browns-
that too.
That was the Browns were so
Kenneth
bad.
Walker didn't play the Browns. Everybody that played the Browns seems to be in
man.
MVP talks.
Except for, Olave didn't. He played the Browns, but he didn't do anything.
No, that was
that
that
crazy cold.
That was that
game.
cold
What'd you
weather
say?
So
game.
you can't
Where
say
we
that
couldn't
against
stop.
Garrett Wilson because that was at the end of the year.
Garrett, we played the Jets like the
three.
second,
Or, I'm
third
sorry,
week
we-
game. He had Flacco.
He dropped.
Yeah,
he
Yeah.
Flacco
dragged
threw
his-
for 400
Yeah.
yards
Oh,
against
man.
us.
That was good.
He made
Never mind.
Flacco look like an MVP quarterback.
He made
That's
Flacco
the-
look like he did in the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
That's what the 18 points or however many points in the last minute 45.
Last minute, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Like
the game we
minute
lost, we
42,
shouldn't
yeah.
have lost. Yeah.
That's right. So, like, I guess if I had to pick a guy, right, offensively, I would say Kenneth Walker. But like I said, the only reason I say that is just because MVP based, right? I think Kenneth Walker mattered more than Tyler Algier to his offense because they had Cordero most of the year.
I think that Algier
That's
has an
my
even better
point.
year next year. I will
And
say
I think another wide receiver that's not talked about enough is Drake London. And I think partially that is because of
Didn't
Marcus
throw him
Mariota.
the
I think he's
ball.
going to take off.
Oh, God, I traded him.
That's right.
I think he's going to do good. And it may not be next
Yeah, I think
year,
he
but
will do good. It'll take 3
He
years.
has the ability to be good.
I think it depends on the quarterback
I
situation.
mean, when he was at USC, he was pretty good.
there is no quarterback situation.
That's my
I
point.
mean,
That's kind of
Where's
my point.
Matus at? Ritter to the moon.
Lamar might go to Atlanta, though.
Stop.
We'll talk
Why?
about that one. We'll talk
Why
about that
would
one.
we do
Don't talk
that?
about the
All right.
draft.
Oh my god.
So
You're getting
and the defense wide side of things, like hands down, I have to give it to Aiden Hutchinson just because of his production throughout the year. But let me give you some of these notable guys that we popped up there that we didn't even talk about. Like I said, Stingley, that's a guy.
I like
the only
Stingley.
reason because he wasn't on the field. You have Jack Jones. That's another guy that was pretty good out there. 25 solo tackles, 30 total, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions, 6 passes deflected.
Who?
He's a rookie for the Patriots.
Okay.
And then, like I said, Tariq, Sauce, Martin Emerson. I had starred because I was going to talk about him. I didn't expect anybody to talk about Martin Emerson. You had Jalen Petrie. That was another guy that just, for some reason, no one wants to talk about these guys.
Yeah, that Brisker and Petrie.
How many of these guys were taken in the first round, though? That's what I'm talking about. They don't get the love
well,
because they're not big names.
I mean, Hamilton was.
Yeah, you're not household names.
What'd you say, sorry?
Brock Purdy.
So what you're telling me is
Big
that
cat.
because you're not a household name, you don't deserve to be a rookie of the year.
I'm not saying that.
You don't.
And that's
but they
going to be
just
one of
don't
my
get the
memes
love.
Saturday.
They don't get the love.
So what you're telling me is these guys need to just start popping on Instagram and TikTok and doing what they got to do to just show up.
Yeah, as long as they
Dance
don't
on-
turn into
dance on
JJ
the,
and Juju and Chase Claypool, I don't care.
Yeah, dance on the middle of the field.
I mean, Kayvon, like
doing the
Kayvon
gritty
had a good.
oh man.
Kayvon had a good year, but the problem is Kayvon didn't show up to like the last 5 or 6 games.
Exactly.
So
And
You got to be there the whole season.
you
in my
know
opinion.
what game he showed up? The one against the Commanders.
He did show up when it mattered for that team.
He did.
I
And he
will
won
say
him
that.
game. He
will
shut
say
him down the first half.
Nick Foles is going to remember that face for the rest of his life.
So was it Taylor Heineke, man?
No, it was Nick Foles that he was doing the
Yes, it was full.
the snow angel
I was
next
talking
to.
about-
Where he fractured how many ribs? And,
Well,
Yeah, he was doing the snow angel next to him. He's like, I would have been all
I
right
think
if it was okay.
I don't think he meant to do that. I don't think he knew.
Yes,
the
he did.
injury.
He
Yes,
went
he
to the
did.
sideline and then he
He
did the
kept
sleepy
doing it.
face
Yeah, he kept
after he
going.
knew he was
Oh,
injured.
yeah, he's an animal, dude.
He knew, but I'll take that on my defense.
But how
yeah.
bad is that compared? What was it? The Steelers that did the resuscitation celebration after the Hamlin
Yeah.
injury.
I love
They're
that.
taking that out of Madden too.
What? You love that?
They're taking that.
I
out
don't
of Madden.
think they
The
meant to do it, but they
resuscitation
used it.
celebration has been there for years.
It's been there for years. You're right.
Years.
You're
But that's why I was asking your opinion on it.
I had
I
a
don't care either
I
way,
flipped out
honestly.
in a bar
And I'm a
because
Buffalo
people are
fan.
like in Pittsburgh. I flipped out on a bar because they're like, oh, that's just there's no couth to that. You guys can't do that. These NFL players, they just don't understand.
And they did it multiple times all season. I mean,
That's what I said.
especially. I mean, they
You
did it
don't
multiple-
understand.
It's not like that was their one time. I can see that being.
No.
Well, not just that. Like these guys have pre-scripted celebrations.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Like when they
come
scored,
on,
like
man.
or when
the
they do
bowling
an
ball
intercept-
one with Minnesota, that was pretty fun.
That is
Yeah,
funny.
so
It's
like-
funny, but like you take
Are
time
you
out of
going to
practice to
change
do
your
this?
script and look like an idiot?
I mean, are you saying the NFL scripted?
Yes.
Oh, hands down. You know who did say the
Trevor
NFL was
Lawrence.
scripted?
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, they're right, guys.
He did?
All right, yeah,
Yeah,
he came
he
out.
did.
He didn't say it was scripted.
He's like,
They
you
took
can't
him out
write
of
a better-
context.
The
better
NFL
script
couldn't
than
write a
that.
better script.
Yeah.
Is what he was.
Yep.
Is what he said after beating the Chargers.
Yeah. He actually, it was a funny statement that he said. I mean, right? Like, it was good.
Let me go back to Martin Emerson real quick.
Yeah,
just
oh
for a
my
quick second.
God.
So
That's fine.
Did he
Denzel
say
Ward
that?
made what, second team All Pro or first team?
The
This year?
second team.
Second team.
Yeah,
How
he-
does Martin
he
Emerson
made it-
not make
he made
second
it
team
all-
All Pro?
I don't know.
How
How does Denzel Ward? Because of his name.
How does
Interceptions.
McCaffrey
Because
not
of his
make the
name.
Pro Bowl?
Interceptions.
He had 4.
McCaffrey did not make Pro Bowl. How?
Who does?
Christian
Because he didn't
McCaffrey.
play all year.
understand
Yeah,
that.
he
I
did.
don't know,
No, he didn't.
Yeah, it seems he played all year.
but he didn't.
I thought he made Pro Bowl.
No, he
I
did
don't
not
think
make
he
Pro
did.
Bowl.
I
Well,
think
you know
he's
what?
right.
Blame the fans.
No,
'cause
he
it's
was a snub.
Stupid
He was a
ass
snub.
fan vote.
But yeah,
TMC
Martin
was a
Emerson
snub.
he got screwed. Like I said, it all depends on your name. Can you make a name for yourself in college
Well,
and
here's the
carry on
thing.
in the NFL?
So, well, no, hold on. I think I disagree with that statement. I think the reason why Tariq Woolen is in the conversation, like there has nothing to do with his name. I think the interceptions has a lot to do with it, and I think Emerson having 0 interceptions is a big factor. Now we don't use Emerson that way.
No, Emerson is a
Emerson's a pass deflector and coverage guy. Make sure nobody can throw that way. And I agree with you that Emerson is so
He
underrated
blankets the guy.
because if you look at what these Mike Evanses and all those guys that are big body receivers did against Emerson, it's like nothing.
Yeah, he
and the
matches
only
up
reason
perfectly. And I think
the
he's
only reason that
6'2" too.
Pickens or Pickens
Pickens.
because of the
had a
push-off,
good
like,
game is
he
because of the
pushed off on his
push off.
face. He pushed
And
off
like
on
I
his
s-
face.
That like Johnny said, that was his Odell game.
Yeah.
that
Whatever.
catapulted him up.
And I
Whatever.
will say Emerson handled
Garbage.
that very well and continued to hang all over him the rest of the
yeah.
game.
Yes, he did. So
And I don't like to get hyped on the Browns. Steve
Yeah,
knows
just-
this.
Strictly
we
talk
tried.
about them,
I
yeah.
explained it. I explained him. How many times
Yeah.
did I tell you this week? Hey, man, we don't want to talk about the Browns because
sorry.
like then we get stuck on them.
Yeah,
but then like it is what it is.
Well,
so,
and
like
so
realistically,
and I won't
though,
even get stuck on the Ravens too much just because they're out of it at this point.
and their garbage team.
So like there's
And
6
Lamar
teams
Jackson
left
as
in
well.
it.
They were always out of it.
There's 6 teams left in it, and they're up here on the board. I mean, so that's all that matters is these 6 teams at this point, or 8 teams, I guess.
Oh, you want to talk playoffs
Sorry.
real quick? Oh shit!
I forgot the 2 number ones that
Right.
one just doesn't deserve it, but the other one does. Yeah, I love that. I just messing with it. So those are all the
Man.
guys that got kicked out. You got
That's a
Buffalo
nice
knocked out
logo.
Miami, Cincy knocked out the Ravens,
That's
Jacksonville
so
knocked out
nice.
the Chargers.
I think the Bengals beat Buffalo.
I think that's a better logo.
I think the Bengals beat Buffalo this week.
Seriously?
I have that's my.
I had
pick.
them beating
Allen
Buffalo in
We're
the
not
last game.
talking takes yet. We're not talking
Josh
games yet.
Allen looks bad. I'm sorry. He just doesn't look like himself since Dable left. Look at the stats from that last year, this year. I know the injury with his elbow, but I mean, how much is that affecting?
Such a good take.
And I love Josh Allen. You can ask my brothers. They call me a fanboy, whatever.
You're wearing a jersey.
But-
You can't say you don't love
I
Josh
love
Allen.
Josh Allen. I do, 100%.
Hey, who'd you want the
But-
Browns to take back in 2018?
Josh Allen.
I said Josh
But I
Allen
don't think
also.
he
though.
would not be what he is now.
No, because he would have
Not
went
with
through a
that
different
coaching.
controversy.
With
Yeah.
4 or 5 different coaches.
Yeah,
Sean
I don't think
McDermott,
he
Brady
mentally
Dable.
would have handled what Baker had to
Yeah, he
handle.
had a 56.5, I think, completion percentage coming out of
Yeah, it would have
college,
been
which
way.
was
It would have been
awful.
way worse for him. He would have been run out.
He
I don't know about that because
stop it.
Well,
He went
here's
to
the
the-
reason why I don't know about that is because when you think about coming out of college, who did Baker have? He still had Jarvis Landry. He had a guy that was going to go catch the ball.
I mean, out of college. I thought you meant in college.
no, going into the pros, if you would have came to the Browns, you still had Jarvis Landry.
I mean, yeah, but
But other than that, who'd you have?
Well, then they went and
What,
signed
Isaiah Hodgins.
But then the next day they
Or
went and
what was his
signed.
name?
They went and signed Odell the next year.
Hollywood Higgins.
Hollywood Higgins helped.
Yeah,
Baker.
they went and signed
But then they went and
Odell.
signed Odell the next year. Do you think Odell and Landry are better with Allen over Baker? I think so. Because Allen's a little riskier and will throw a receiver open or give them the ability to catch the ball.
Yeah,
Baker
can I-
won't.
can I-
That's
hold on,
where
hold
the
on, hold
risky
on.
interceptions come from. That's where Baker.
I
Baker
agree.
had a lot of
Hold
those red
on.
zone interceptions.
I agree.
But they're
But-
two different. It's the offense.
So if you go back to college for Baker, he
Stefanski's
had-
offense is different.
he had-
He's not going to do that.
No, but if you go back to Baker in college at Oklahoma, who do you have at tight end?
Mark Andrews,
Exactly, who he exclusively used in the end zone.
CeeDee Lamb.
Don't
Who
talk about
did
Mark
we have at
Andrews
tight
on
end? We
this
had
show.
Njoku who couldn't stay healthy, couldn't catch a ball.
Oh, man.
Now,
Hold on.
Somebody,
We didn't talk about the Browns.
somebody
Hold on.
compared Cole Kmet to Mark Andrews. So that's all I got to say.
I think Josh Allen, just like Herbert, went to the perfect situation.
Oh,
And they're putting pieces around him with Diggs. You got Diggs, who they traded, and yeah, they gave up essentially JJ for him, but it's an even swap, just about. I mean, obviously you're going to get more help out of JJ long term. I think
Speaking of
he's worth
JJ,
more.
well, do we want to fit offensive player of the year in real quick?
JJ.
It's JJ.
There's no question about that.
It is JJ. He led the league in catches.
How is there no question about
yards,
that?
Yards per game. He
What are
led
you
the
gonna
league
have,
in all
Patrick
of them.
Mahomes?
Why can't it be Josh Jacobs? 14. Doesn't he have 14 touchdowns this year?
Offensive player of the year?
13. Oh, 14 total?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it 14 total? I like JJ.
I'm just saying. You just sat there and talked up Josh Jacobs. He's probably one of the best running backs this year, and then he's also one of the highest scoring running players.
I mean,
we're just gonna count him out.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gone. He's
How
not
about
there.
Jared Goff, who's like averaging like 30 points a game?
Jared
Goff got.
We had this conversation.
You know what
Hey,
happened?
Jonathan,
Jared Goff?
I ordered the jersey.
Sean
It's
McVay
coming.
You can
sent
suck
him
it.
to just the bellows of hell, and he has risen back with Dan Campbell.
Matt Stafford put up the same amount of points,
And I
by the
love
way.
it.
Matt Stafford put up the
needs to
same
retire Tom
amount of
Brady.
points in Detroit, though.
You know who should have retired after the Super Bowl? Matt Stafford. You know who should have retired after their Super
Aaron
Bowl?
Donald.
Tom Brady.
Oh.
Same with Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
I don't like that take.
Temporarily
I disagree
had
with
his
that.
Twitter as former NFL D lineman, and then quickly changed it.
Listen,
so.
I love
That's
what he
sitting
puts
on the shitter
field.
trying to figure out what you're doing with your life.
I love what he puts on the field. I do. Retire, dude. Go be with your family. You told him last year.
Aaron Donald's
Brady?
not that old.
He's not. He's not.
No.
He's
That's
what,
the point.
29?
He's not
think he's
that old. But
20, yeah, I think 29.
the defense, that team's never going to take another step
Nope.
because they have to pay him all that money.
Do you trade Cooper?
Yes, you get what you
But
can
who-
now.
what are you gonna get for him?
Nothing, because
Exactly.
he's 29, going to be 30 with a knee injury.
Coming off a big injury.
Big injury. You're screwed. You are screwed. Your
I'd
best
take
receiver
Cooper.
going into next season is
But
Van
what are you going to give
Jefferson.
up for? I'd take Cooks over
A
Cooper.
sixth.
Bring him my way.
A sixth?
No.
I give up our third for him.
No.
Cooks.
No, Brandon Cook.
Brandon Cook.
I would
I'm
take
not-
Cup over.
I think Cook's a
You
free
do
agent. No, I
realize-
think Cook's a free agent. I
I would
might
take
be
up
wrong
over.
about that.
I would take up over.
no, he's
Cooks, too.
not.
He's not okay.
No, Brandon
Cup
Cook.
has 4 years.
Oh,
on,
okay. Yeah, 'cause he's-
Brandon.
Yeah, Cooks got a
Yeah, he
contract.
signed. He said he wasn't coming back
Yeah,
next
he signed
year.
that
Cooks does
extension.
not.
Yeah. My thing
Oh,
is
that's right.
that if you actually paid attention, and I know you paid a lot of attention to what's going on off the field, a lot of these guys have talked about Cooper. have said he's the best route running receiver in the NFL.
I mean,
and that's
Andrew
corners.
Whitworth
That's corners.
Andrew Whitworth talks him up, and he was the offensive lineman for him. But when
No,
he
I'm
talks
talking about
him
guys
up
that have
all
gone
the time.
against him.
Oh,
They said he's one of the worst people to go against because of his route running abilities.
Yeah,
and he's so elusive. So
It's just, he's quick.
if
mean,
I
he's
had
got
a chance to go
He
get a
doesn't have
guy,
that speed, but he's quick enough.
if
right?
I had a chance to go get a
shifty.
guy
He's
like
shifty.
Kupp, I would take it in a heartbeat.
What are you going to give up
yeah,
for him?
Denzel Ward in the third.
Oh my God, that's too
All in.
much for
All
a
in.
30-year-old receiver with a bad knee.
because
Oh.
the reason
What
being
what
is
Kupp
because
making?
the reason
Oh.
being is because Denzel Ward
Oh, man.
struggles to stay on the field.
So does Kupp.
No, this is
For
Kupp's
one
first injury.
season,
but it's 30.
Denzel Ward
then
hasn't-
misses 3 games consistently
Every year.
And
Every
I told
year.
Steve I did not like that pick, or I did not like that.
I'm
we
not
all
opposed to the
agreed
pick.
off camera.
I think it's a
Don't make me
risky.
the bad guy.
I think it's a
know, I'm just
risky
saying.
pick, right? Like I'm not
Yeah.
opposed to the pick,
But
and
you're in the
I'm
win now mode.
I'm more opposed to the signing
You're
than the
already
pick.
win now.
Yeah, but Martin Emerson, I think, is.
I
I think he's going to be better as a
he can
key
step
quarterback
into the
Greg
cornerback
Newsom's
role.
good.
Right? Because he was
Yeah.
the third corner. He was third corner
Yeah,
this year.
so
He
what
can
do you
step
need
into
to
Greg
sign? A
Newsom
couple
role.
guys and we
Newsom could
draft-
be your guy. I mean, yeah, but why?
We draft a corner every year. Every single year we draft at least one corner.
Jimmy, that's
And
a
you might be able to find like a Troy Hill or somebody like that who's on the waiver wire.
Again,
That's-
you're gonna bring
that's-
Hill back?
That's 1/3 of the cost of Denzel Ward.
Hold
I'm not
on.
saying Hill exactly. I'm saying a guy that can
Yeah.
produce like Hill, who everybody's counting out.
I'll have to
I
look
wouldn't be
at free agents.
surprised with the way this offseason's going if, like I said, John Johnson's cut. a couple
I
guys.
don't.
Get off
I don't
the team.
expect John Johnson to get
I
cut just
do.
because of the
Get
amount
off.
of tackles he put up.
Hey, Wheels, did you want to know Amari Cooper's or Cooper Kupp's?
Cooper Kupp.
Kupp's.
Why would he want to know
Yeah,
Amari
what's-
Cooper?
what's-
Amari
He said
Cooper.
Cooper.
He said
Amari
Kupp.
Cooper got
My
extended.
bad.
He's
Oh, he said it was Coop.
making money.
His
What-
cap hit is 27.8.
And Denzel Ward is what, 23?
Ward is
22 or 23. Yeah.
cap hit is 12. His dead cap is almost 40.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
my point.
Trade him.
Okay, yeah,
Bye.
I trade him. Yeah.
And then Cup's dead cap is 29.4.
Well, you're
I would
already
trade Ward
losing
for a
27
third.
million
Yeah.
though. You're already losing 27
So what
million.
is
That's
it?
another
What is
point,
the, yeah, what does say? What does that difference make?
I
You're
would.
in the win now. Put-
Yeah, no,
I mean,
get off my team.
Yeah,
Go
I
to
mean,
the
if you can
Rams,
save 12
get
million,
younger.
I don't. We'll see what Schwartz does. He might want Ward. We'll see. I think that'll be kind of it for today's show. It's 6:30. It's been a long show. It's been
Oh,
about an
man.
hour and 15 minutes. It's been
Sure
a great
is.
day. What we're gonna do,
guys.
what we're gonna do to end the show is get into the
They mean well
his
real
meme
quick.
well,
Yeah,
and then we're
look
gonna then we're gonna read the breakdown one last time, and then we're gonna
I
head out.
I had to do 3 this week.
But go ahead. So what do we got?
You said chokers.
So there was a new NFL logo for the Chargers as well.
The Miami Dolphins one.
No, it was Atlanta Falcons logo.
Oh, it was the Atlanta Falcons
with
one. You're right.
The Chargers bolt as the wing.
As the wing, dude, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I didn't see that one.
yes.
So before we leave, I just want to say one thing, and we're just gonna leave it at that. Houston should not draft a quarterback this year.
I agree.
Oh man.
I agree.
And I wanted to bring that up.
I said
won't be able
defense.
to
Did
make
I
it-
not say defense while we
Yeah,
were talking?
I won't be able to make it Saturday. I got to help my brother move.
That's all right.
But I will be available next week. But I just want to leave it at that. Houston should not take a quarterback.
all right.
The second one.
Danny
is,
Dimes, I'm voting him.
The Stonehands.
Oh.
That,
Jalen
Miami
Waddle had such a bad day, man.
Skyler had a bad game because his wide receivers couldn't.
Because of them.
Skyler didn't have a bad
Oh,
game.
Right.
bad.
Dude, I felt so bad for Skyler every time Jalen Waddle dropped a 30-yard pass. It was like one every other
I
pass to
just
him.
love that you brought all this talent to Miami. And I know, yeah, you had to start it back up a couple games, but they finished the exact same as they did last season with, what was their coach? I can't remember his name ever.
Oh, Flores.
Yeah, Brian Flores. Who I would
There's a
love
lawsuit
I would
going
love
on with him.
I would love him for
Yeah.
DC, though.
He'll never be a head
but
coach
he's-
again.
No.
Now he's Arizona is interviewing him for head coach.
He'll never be a head coach again.
Promise.
He is now a Rooney candidate.
But
Yep, he's gonna be. Yep, Eric Bieniemy.
but the Danny Dimes is by far the best because
Vanilla
the
Vic?
Giants of all
Vanilla
that sent
Vic.
it out.
Vanilla Vic.
They just Kirk Thuggins chains and they
You watch your mouth.
made the big pendant Danny Dimes and it's just all great.
All right, so that being said, we're going to head out today. Everybody's going to give their takeaways and their yadas, I guess. Yada, yada, yadas.
Yada yada yada.
And we're going to head out and we'll talk about what's going on Saturday.
is.
So our wonderful guest, Wheels, what's
There
your
it is.
takeaway for today?
Like ending the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
Like I said, Houston shouldn't take a quarterback. I
There
see,
it is.
He didn't realize he
All
had room to
business.
say that at the
All
end.
business.
All right. How about you, Steve?
Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you as always. God bless you. God bless America. Come back for Saturday. It's going to be big. 9 a.m. 9 a.m. live. We're going to be here.
doing
Be
it
here with
live.
us. Let's have fun. We're going to do it live. Love you guys. Thank you.
Johnny, takeaway?
Yeah, just don't forget to like and subscribe. And we hope you enjoy the show and keep coming back.
All
Thanks for
right.
having me,
Yeah.
guys.
What'd you say?
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
for sure. All right, guys. So, that's going to be it for our Wednesday show. I will tell you, please like and subscribe. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Rumble. We're on all these areas. We're probably going to be getting up an Instagram and a Facebook here soon. I'm pretty sure I have them out there. I just have to get them ready to go. On top of that, I wanted to let you guys know Saturday's show, like Steve said earlier, between 9 a.m. and 11. I want to preface this right now. For Saturday's show, it is probably going to be a hectic show, and there's going to be a lot of debate. If you guys want to get in on that debate, please come to and talk. All those in the chat, I do appreciate you guys. Kirk Thuggins, I love that we're just talking it up about the NFC because there are 3 teams in the NFC East. I agree with that statement. It's the first time in the history of all NFL, but let's be honest, it's the first time in the history of NFL that 3 teams can make it in a wild card and lead the division. Well, technically, with that 2 years ago, they added a 3rd team.
Yeah.
In the wild cards. So, this is new precedent.
Again, asterisk.
Yeah, so there's a lot that's changed in the NFL. So a lot of people have to understand that too. So every time you talk about a new record being broken, it's because we have a 17-game season, we have 3 wild cards, and there's a lot going on. So we'll probably preface that every time we talk about new records too. That being said, please come to Saturday's show. It's going to be, we're probably just going to intro that with fisticuffs between me and Ryan because we have a lot to talk about on that show when we get into quarterback debates about what's going on with the quarterbacks that are currently in the playoffs and quarterbacks that were knocked out of the playoffs. All right, guys. So have a wonderful day, and we'll see you Saturday.